So once the Vine ended, were you already on Instagram? Did you already convert? Were you doing two at the same time?
So if we kind of rewind back a little bit,
Okay.
I got started on YouTube. And I was originally doing YouTube videos, but I was like a tech geek.
Oh, that's what you said on when we did the social media.
Yep.
I remember that now. I totally forgot.
And I was like the super nerdy girl teaching people how to like jailbreak their iPhones.
Yes, I remember
And I did a lot of tech reviews. And shout out to my boy Marcus. He has a huge YouTube following now. And incredible stuff. But yeah, I was doing tech stuff. That was like the world that I was in at first. And it wasn't until Vine that I switched over to like content comedy and all of that kind of stuff.
So if we went back to YouTube and we typed in Pashyn, could we find those old videos? Did you take them down?
Some of them, yeah. I took down a lot.
Okay, guys, you have to do your internet magic and go dig up those old videos.
I was like, holy cringe.
Hey, but then it gave you practice to be in front of the camera and to, be talking to a camera and all of that. So
it did.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't have to. Sometimes just practice is all you need.
Exactly. How big was your following when you were doing those tech videos?
Maybe like 5,000.
Oh, okay. That's pretty solid for back then.
It was really good back then.
Yeah.
But I was also a part of like a tech community of people, and like probably people would recognize like iJustine. She's huge as well. But we were all a part of this community that would push each other's videos as well. Cool. But yeah. Yeah, I probably could find some of it then.
How into tech are you right now?
I'm such a nerd.
Okay, so it hasn't changed. You just you just don't make videos about it. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a gadget like freak.
Okay, well, I mean, I see a little bit of it with like the Pigeon Siri kind of thing. How did you do that? Because you had to like make your own AI, right?
This was even before like ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. And, this was like 7-8 years ago probably when you first posted the video.
So I think at that time speech to text was like or you could dictate.
Okay.
And so it was just me playing around with phonetics. So and then having Siri speak whatever it is that I typed out in my notes app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people were like, what's the app? What did you do? And it was all just like playing around with how she would say it.
Yeah. It's like jailbreaking a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I love how to see all these pieces connect to
and
understand.
It took forever. It took a really long time.
I bet. Yeah. Well, what would you say was your I don't know if there was one video that kind of went viral that, got you a lot of followers. Was it the Pigeon series or was it just a accumulation of a bunch of different videos?
I think the Pigeon Siri one was it was widespread. It wasn't just Hawaii. So I think it reached a lot of people that had Hawaii ties. And that was the one that kind of got the momentum going. Yeah.
Nice. And then at what point during your social media career did you start to get recognized?
Maybe when I started just before Instagram. So it was,
wow, even like this is going back to like 2011.
Yeah. It was kind of fun because I think back then you weren't really competing against so many other platforms. Everybody was on one. And so, and if you were from Hawaii, then you were wanting to watch Hawaii content. And so it was nice to know that like you had Hawaii people recognizing Hawaii things.
Yeah, that is cool. I remember I was really big into Tumblr. And I would, and YouTube, I would post poems and songs. I'd write songs, my friend would sing it. So that's how, that was like the start of my content creating. And I remember one time somebody made a cover of one of the songs that I wrote that my
What?
friends, and that was like the coolest thing ever. Or like
Yeah.
I would document my friends during the summer, or we would document each other like jumping off cliffs in Hilo, waterfalls, stuff like that, and then it would go viral on Tumblr, and then people would see that video at like UH or something, and that feeling was just so cool, right? Just that
That
people
is
were
so
seeing your
dope.
content, right?
Yeah. Do you still write?
Not as much. Yeah, I do. I know. So I watched. So how I got that. That little snippet in the beginning. How don't follow her on the Pali.
Yeah.
Because that was a interview you did with Kamaka Pili like 7 or 8 years ago. I do my research.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
forgot about
I
that.
do my research, Pashyn. People listening. I look into my guests.
Wait, what is that one guy? There's that one guy, and he goes and he interviews all these like rappers, and he like, oh, what is his
Rappers?
name? And he like drops some like crazy facts, and they're like, how the heck do you
Oh,
know?
like he does it currently.
Yeah,
Mm.
or I mean, he did do it, and it was pretty popular. But
I
it
have
was
a
like,
couple
how the heck?
faces in mind that I've seen interviews, but I don't know about that specific part.
He's like this super nerdy looking guy, and he just like has the weirdest, random, deepest facts about these rappers. And they're like, how do you know this?
I'm not sure.
That felt like one of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. But yeah, so I heard that you were talking. I watched another interview where you were talking about writing a book, and you're in. It was the Guy Hagi interview.
Oh, okay.
In the driving with
Yep,
the car.
yep.
Shout out to Guy. But you were talking about how you are inspired by Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of. I bring that up because that's also one of my inspiration, Dr. Seuss. So I'd always say, because I want to write books too. One of my first books I want to write is a book called Pun Intended. And I have like probably hundreds of notes in my phone where I have just a bunch of incomplete poems and stuff. But that's one of my book. And the thing that I would always say is I want to be like a mix of Shel Silverstein meets Tupac Shakur, mixed with a little Dr. Seuss.
I love that.
That's like the combination of what I want to do.
Yep.
Where it's just kind of like, it's flowy, it's fun, but it's also like pretty deep at some point. Like I would read you something and it would like go right over your head.
I love that because Junior Boy was inspired by Shel's I'm Not Going to School Today.
Yeah.
And that is kind of like the Junior Boy local kid version of that.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, I have the books. I gotta read them again. But I just remember like during elementary or middle school, we would go to the library, and I would always love the Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends and stuff like that.
Yep.
And just like the fun Dr. Seuss rhymes is, yeah. So that's one thing I want to get back into is writing, because I used to write. I even have a book. I wrote a book too. It's right under there. But because when I was in the Peace Corps, I would write blogs and just share my life. But after, life gets busy, after I started with, my other businesses and the podcast, now instead of writing, I just talk,
Right.
And it's funny because I wrote something for the first time, like, I think at the end of the year or beginning of this year. Like, I wrote it in my notes, like, I haven't written in years, like, nothing. So I wrote, like, a little reflection about, like, me. I guess like life got so busy, and instead of writing on paper, I just turned my words into on videos, so it's just a little bit different, but I do want to get back to the writing and stuff.
You're choosing different canvases throughout your life.
Nice different canvases.
But I think that I love that about creatives is that we I don't know, maybe it seems like chaos, but maybe organized chaos.
Organized mess. That's what I always think.
And I love that we get to choose our different canvases at different points in our life. And only now am I going back to like full commit writing.